revolution that continues to shape our political discourse more than any other movement on the political scene today. What we are trying to do with this movement is more important than this particular election, or even Ron Paul, something Dr. Paul would readily admit himself. We are trying to make constitutional government a reality in our time. We're trying to turn the Republican Party into the limited government party it is always purported to be. We're trying to make the conservative movement conservative again. Yeah! Us as just a bunch of Ron Paul kids, as if the massive youth that Dr. Paul enjoys somehow means we are not serious. Well, this is not the first time the Republican establishment has made that mistake. Consider the following from a 1960 editorial in National Review describing the youth presence for Barry Goldwater at the Republican National Convention that year. Now pay close attention, this is 1960, the Republican Convention, National Review. Youth was everywhere at the Republican Convention. Youth managed the various candidates' booths. Youth waved the posters. Youth held the convention parade. It was youth, primarily, that staged the presidential demonstration Wednesday night. Lots of the young people had no ideological interest. They'd come, well, because their family was Republican. But those who were serious, the ones who would be working hardest to guide the Republican Party in the future, were conservatives, and most of them Goldwater fans. They passed out 15,000 Goldwater buttons, handed out literature, rallied inside and outside the amphitheater. They greeted Richard Nixon at the airport with Goldwater signs and did the same thing for President Eisenhower the next day. Sound familiar?
They greeted Romney in France with
National Review editorial. They drove one Nixon aide into muttering in exasperation, "Those damn Goldwater people are everywhere." The editorial then concluded of these Goldwater youth that these fiery young conservatives and libertarians represent, quote, those who are serious, the ones who will be working the hardest to guide the Republican Party in the future. Now, of course, National Review in 1960 was right. Those Goldwater kids became the modern American conservative movement. And it is those Ron Paul kids and those Ron Paul people who are picking up where Barry Goldwater left off, who are reviving the philosophy of liberty and championing the constitutional principles of our founders that made this country great. That issue is not whether or not we belong to the conservative movement. We are the conservative movement. Ron Paul reignited it. And liberty now has a chance to take root across this country thanks to the people in the stadium and the millions of others of Americans who stand with us across the country. Those who understand this represent America's future. Those who don't understand it represent the past, the mindless and empty partisanship of old. And eventually it will need to rise up, shut up, or simply get out of the way.
Woo!
Said Senator Gentleman in January, quote, if Republicans don't understand the important aspects of what Ron Paul is saying, we won't be able to exist as a party, certainly not a majority party. Senator DeMint was right. And if Reagan was right, that it is liberty that truly defines conservatism, that it is we that define the heart of conservatism, the heart and soul of the conservative movement more than any other movement in America today. Ron Paul has rekindled the fire of freedom, but it is we who carry that torch forward. Make no mistake, this is the cause of our lives. And like it or not, ready or not, liberty is on the way. Thank you.
What's up with these sorry politicians? Lots of art. When it's showtime, whimpering like little shih tzus. You want big cuts. Ron Paul's been screaming it for years. Budget crisis? No problem. Got $1 trillion year one. That's trillion with a T. Department of Education? God. Interior, Energy, HUD, Commerce? Gone. Want to drain the swamp? Ron Paul. Do it.
I'm Ron Paul.